Hey, TwoSun Tuesday again, and this one is super interesting. I've been waiting for this for a long time and got really excited when it got here. This is the TS389. Now, this thing is another titanium integral knife, and we can see that because of the way that this is actually done and milled, that this isn't like the TS205 that was basically made out of a sheet and then tacoed up. This was fully milled out. That being said, the pocket clip is not integral to it. It's actually bolted on from the inside, so I suppose keep that in mind there. Yeah, so let's go ahead and front flip it on open. Kerchunk, there we go. Kind of an interesting, very lazy drop point kind of thing. Kind of makes me think a little bit of the standard curve of an elephant's trunk or something like that. These are numbered. This is number 94. This is the purple variant. That I think the only place I've seen this one so far is on Amazon through the Tangly seller. And that's where I got this one, and it's expensive, and they're probably asking too much for it. I can especially say that because White Mountain Knives charges a lot less for it. So, yes, after discounts and things like that, having to do with my particular credit card, I got this for $261. Yes, that's expensive. However, on White Mountain Knives, this is listed at $219, and of course, you can also use coupons for 10% off on that storefront, so probably a much better place to go for it. However, those variants are bronze, so they're more gold rather than the purple that we have going on here on this one. So I suppose just keep that in mind. So yes, this is a blade in M390 steel. And it took me a little while to figure this out, but this is the insignia of Nick Rodgers. He's kind of a newer designer, but he's also just recently, I think a little bit before this came out, also had an artisan cutlery knife called the Ahab that came out. You know, it was a pretty chunky sort of thing. So this has a little bit different design language overall from that one, as this is a much more dainty kind of thing going on here. Like I said, it's M390 steel. Nice crown spine all the way on top here, but it's not super polished, so you do have a bit of friction if you are further out rather than back here where that jimping is. Speaking of, we got the jimping that goes all the way over. It is crowned, of course, but yeah, it's easy enough to do that and a whole reach around thing. And I'm never really good at doing the that finger flick thing. It's just not very comfortable for me. So there you go. But you could probably do an all right job with that. This one has a decent plunge grind here. It ends kind of right over here, and you have a decent amount of sharpenings here. I have pulled this back to a 15 degrees behind the edge, so it's a little bit thicker than it was. But yeah, pretty decent grind going on here. Full flat grind, obviously. And the blade stock thickness on this is on the thinner side for TwoSun. This is 3.25 millimeters, or 3.25, which is great. Usually we'll see, you know, like I've said in many others, somewhere between 3.7 and 4 millimeters blade stock. So this is a little bit on the smaller or daintier side. Let's see, so I got that. Let's go ahead and go through some other kind of stats here. We've got a 3.13-inch blade, basically from here out to the tip. That would be 79.4 millimeters for y'all metrically inclined. And happy to say that this is 2.95 ounces, or 83.5 grams. So it does meet that ounce an inch mark that a lot of people artificially put on a whole bunch of knives for being a lightweight carry. So that's neat for all of that. It's 0.55 inches thick, probably just a little bit less if you didn't have the carbon fiber on there, but yeah, super great. I like that the frame lock relief is done internally there. it just really makes everything look nice and come together, especially with the pocket clip also having its screw mounted on the inside there. Super nice. We have the steel lock bar insert there, and we can see, because this is an integral, it extends up a lot further and cups over it rather than being mounted kind of on the inside there. That's just part of the nature of that beast there, but that's perfectly fine. This thing, I think probably part of it being the fact that the blade on it isn't super heavy, because it's a thinner blade stock and stuff like that. It's a wiggle shut, but it's definitely not going to be a full drop shut sort of thing, no matter what I've ended up doing. But this also has, regardless of what this pivot situation looks like, relatively small bearings inside there. So, I suppose, with that being said, yeah, it's nice and integral all the way up, and then comes over here, and then part of the that front facet there to keep the blade completely closed. So, let's go ahead and do some blade size comparisons. And sure, let's go with the bug out. That's going to be much thinner, but still right around that same size. As well as the 940 being just a little bit larger. Let's see, let's go ahead and bring out another purple knife, the Spyderco PM2. And another one that's probably really appropriate. We got the K-Bar Folding Hunter. That's a little bit less sharpened edge, but a little bit larger in the handle department. Alrighty, yeah, this thing is put together pretty interestingly, and well, I can probably try at least a little bit during the disassembly of this to kind of show the internals. However, I will say that the carbon fiber that we have on these two guys, they do have screws there, but it's also adhered onto it. But essentially, from this side, they've from the show side here, underneath this carbon fiber before it's placed on there, they've done excessive milling through it and into the other side, so it has all that nice milling. Let's see if I can't grab a flashlight so we can get some nice looks on there on the inside. Why not? Yeah, we got some stuff going on both sides there. That certainly helps with the weight of it. The grip on it is really comfortable. I do like this edge here. It does remind me of another knife that I had taken a look at rather recently. What was it? This guy right here, the TS389. It kind of has that same little feature there for your pinky if you're a little bit larger in the hands like myself. That way you can enjoyably get a relaxed saber grip on this thing. It is at that point going to be 3.5 fingers, but it's enough of a half finger that you have all of that strength and control and everything in that pinky. So great. The pocket clip works out pretty darn well. It's maybe not the absolute easiest thing to get in and out of the pocket, but I think that probably just has to do with it being a little bit shorter than some of the other pocket clips. But still, works out super great. Like I said before, that is mounted in from the inside. So they've screwed that together and then ended up putting that on there and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, I'm really happy with this thing so far. I haven't really put the blade through its paces yet. I have reprofiled it to 15 degrees, and it acted about as well as many other companies' M390 does. Not on the super hard end of the scale, but still, I've had some others like the TS389 that didn't feel super crazy hard on the stones, but ended up doing just an outstanding job on the cut tests. And I haven't really had problems with most other M390 from TwoSun recently. So I do hope that this one holds up. I suppose I will have to find that out over time as I work this thing down to being dull or something. But yeah, I have cut a little bit with it, and it's nice. I do like the geometry of it, especially with it having that thinner blade stock. Works out super nice, and I really appreciate the purple. That's probably why I ended up getting this off of Amazon, even though I did wait a little while thinking that White Mountain Eyes would get them in. And then I bit the bullet and ordered it, and a week and a half later, White Mountain Eyes had them on there. As far as when I'm recording this, they still do have a couple of them. So, yeah, if you want to pick up a fully integral M390 knife from a known designer and niche but rather well-known manufacturer, then I would really suggest trying to pick one of these guys up. So, there we are with the standard review. I appreciate y'all for stopping by if that's what you were looking for. And, like, comment, subscribe, all that crap. So, moving on from there, I am going to at least attempt a little bit of a teardown of this thing. I can't fully tear it down, as I mentioned. The carbon fiber here is kind of adhered in, so I can't actually pry that off without undue destruction, and I don't really have the necessary different glue materials to put that back in. But we can at least see how they ended up doing a lot of this. And here's the top part of the pivot here. We can see, yeah, we got their very, very small style of ceramic bearings there. The same kind that Max Chachuk ends up using in most of his knives. And then we can poke that basically out the other side here. And the blade here is also basically, it does have it, it's kind of, almost one of those internal blade stop pins there. I could probably punch that out and then be able to easily pull the knife out, but I don't particularly think it's super necessary to do so. But you can basically see that, yeah, that is chilling. Basically, we do have that groove going on in here, as we can see. But, yeah, unfortunately, that's about as far as I can go with taking it apart. Like I said, I can pull these screws off of the carbon fiber scale up front here. These are T6 screws, by the way. But, yeah, I can't, for the life of me, actually get this carbon fiber piece out. And I have actually tried to push it out from the inside. I basically used one of the, I don't even know if I have them around. Nope, I put them away. Kind of one of the L-shaped Torx screw sort of things to get in there and kind of lever it to put pressure on there. And that's when I found out that, yeah, they do have some adhesive on there. So, unfortunately, that's about as far as I can actually get with taking them apart. But at least you get to see with decent clarity, maybe not absolute clarity, what they've done to this thing to get it to have all of those nice weight requirements and stuff like that. But, okay, now to end up putting this thing back together. That requires me to find, there we go, it's up top. This thing does have a notch up top here, so you definitely want to make sure that that is fully in place. And that, to me, has been kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass because it's hard to actually manipulate this thing once it's in there. But, yeah, I got it in place. Alright. And then from here, I will drop that on top. It does have a bearing race on both sides of the pivot after that. You can see the little Let's go ahead and tighten this guy back down. And that feels maybe like it's just a little, possibly more loose or more tight than needs to be. Well, now I get just a little bit of blade play. So yeah, we'll put it back where it was. Okay. Yeah, it's still a you know, a wiggle shut, but or you can just fully drop it. So it's still nice and smooth. Feels nice, but yeah, it just has a little bit more pressure and stuff like that on the sides there. Oh yeah, since I didn't cover it earlier, super crazy early detent on this thing, which is great to see. Because of that, it absolutely doesn't need a detent ramp on it. And yeah, basically by the time you've moved it to there, you're over it. So yeah, works out great. I like it. Like it quite a bit. But yes, that is basically everything that I have to say about this thing. I am glad to have another integral. I'm still on the lookout for a TS389 integral. One that I've kind of been drooling over since I ended up enjoying the G10 variant so much on it. And I did actually see one that was listed up for sale, but unfortunately someone was a half hour quicker than me to contact the person. So I missed out on that. But yeah, one of these days, I really do hope to get that knife because it looks super sweet and I want it. I want it. But in the meantime, this one makes me happy, and it's much more dainty. You know, titanium integral frame lock that meets that ounce and inch mark with some good blade steel. And I think some nice kind of classic aesthetics going on with it. So, alrighty, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. Please subscribe.